lost wages in an injury case can be very simple and sometimes very complicated. First, you have to decide and determine what kind of loss you're talking about. Is it past lost wages or future lost earnings capacity? They're very different. Future lost earnings capacity is incredibly complicated sometimes, and past lost wages is pretty simple. It's math, right? If you are getting paid a salary and you miss 3 weeks of work, then that's your loss. If you're self-employed or you have a business, you're a business owner, sometimes it's more complicated than that. But the reality is it's still a finite period of time. You're out of work, you lost income. It's math. Future lost earnings capacity deals with a much bigger question or questions. The first one is, can you do your past relevant work? Okay. And the way you figure that out is you got to get physical limitations from your doctor. What can you physically do now versus what you were doing before? And then you need a vocational expert to say, hey, based on these physical limitations, you can't do your past relevant work. Whatever your job was or the work you've done in the past, you can't go back to that. Okay. I'll give you an example. I had a client who was a long-haul trucker. He was making $1,700 a week as a long-haul trucker. And then he had a back injury and he couldn't sit for long periods of time, which means, you can't drive a long-haul truck. So he ended up having to take another job making $600 a week, and he was 48 years old. Well, that's an $1,100 a week loss for the rest of his work life. So we're able to calculate that out. Then you have to bring an economist in to say, what's that worth in today's dollars? So proving all that up on the future lost earnings capacity side takes a lot more work. It's a little more speculative, and it can be complicated for people who are business owners, self-employed, because then you're talking about bringing in forensic accountants who are going to analyze the market, analyze you, make sure you're spending money on stuff. What did you really make? You got to look at it carefully about whether or not the juice is going to be worth the squeeze on that. And, are you going to be able to prove that up? How difficult is it going to be to prove that up? And, what's the best thing for you in your case? And it's very, very case specific when it comes to future lost earnings capacity. So that's really it. Simple thing. Past lost wages, it is what it is. It's usually just math. Future lost earnings capacity, a lot more speculation, a lot more experts, and a lot more risk.